All right, Jesse and Fire, welcome back to the channel. Now, we are going to talk about Jake Paul, and wow. So, full disclosure, okay, so we're going to talk about him doing the kicks and his MMA thing, and like, why he's doing this, etc. So, full disclosure, I just did this video, right? I literally just filmed the entire thing. I was literally uploading, I uploaded the footage to my editing software, and I went and actually watched his kicks again, and someone put the tweet in the video, and I hadn't seen the tweet, which said, kicking down the doors of the doubters. And I literally, I had to record, like, something else in there. I have to re-record this entire video, okay? Because we're gonna talk about the real, like, what he's doing, like, why he's doing this. I'll tell you exactly what I said in the first video, and I'll tell you exactly why I was completely wrong and what he's actually doing, because that's what we're gonna do, okay? Now, if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell. I'm serious. If you guys watch my videos all the time and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I don't try to sell you guys merch. I guess that's actually doing you guys a disservice because a lot of people are asking me for merch, but all I ask in exchange for the consistent content I put up is to subscribe. That's all. But, and we're going to be doing a big drawing when I hit 50,000 very shortly also. So thank you guys again. And thank you guys. Oh, I was just on Believe You Me with Michael Bisping. This is the first video I've put up since I did the Bisping podcast. Thank you guys for supporting that and getting me on there, actually. I mean, a lot of you guys certainly badgered him enough to where he put me on, and I appreciate it very, very much. And thank you to him too. So, okay. Now, the first video that I did, okay, I said, you have a couple options. Like, why is he doing this? Like, what are the options here? Because as far as I know, he's boxing next, right? So what's he doing? Option one, he's just trying to get attention for himself, right? Option two is he's going to use this as some kind of, I don't know, like some kind of like negotiation with the boxing people or something, like, oh, well, I'm just going to go fight MMA if you guys don't pay me whatever. Or number three is he is fully intending on fighting in mixed martial arts. And I mean, look, the spoiler on the video that I did before, I said, without a doubt, he is going to fight in martial arts, mixed martial arts. I would guaranteed. And the reason why you can know that is because he's 24 years old. First of all, he's 24 years old. Okay, so people are like, oh, he does. Oh, come on. He's not going to be able to make a serious run. How old is he? He's 24. And how old was he when he started boxing? I think he was like 21. All right, he just knocked out. So when he started boxing, maybe he was 20, I don't know. But regardless, when he started training, Tyron Woodley was the undisputed welterweight champion of the world in the UFC, okay? So the first time someone showed Jake Paul how to throw a straight punch, Tyron Woodley had probably just put his fist through the face of a challenger and retained the belt, right? Now, if someone would have said, hey, check this out, dude, you want to hear a crazy thing? What would you bet that this YouTube Nickelodeon dude is going to knock out Tyron Woodley in the rematch from their first fight that he won? He's going to be the first person to knock Tyron Woodley unconscious into another dimension in a boxing match. What do you think about that? People will be like, well, anything can happen. Like, probably about as likely as me winning the Mega Millions, right? Probably equal likelihood, me winning the Mega Millions and Jake Paul from Nickelodeon knocking out Tyron Woodley in a prize fight. Impossible. Okay? Except not. Because clearly, he dedicates himself to what he's doing. He's talented at it, and he can bang. Okay? I know everyone loves to hate on Jake Paul, but the proof is in the pudding, man. He knocked out Tyron Woodley. End of story. So if you think he can't get himself in a position where he could compete in mixed martial arts, okay, like, you don't understand people. He has already showed you that he can for boxing, and now he's going to add some more skills, and he will fight in MMA. I will absolutely guarantee you that. He's 24, dude. Right? He's 24 years old. And also, whoever signs him, let me rewind. So the first video I said, he'll fight in the UFC. That's what I said. I was like, obviously he'll end up fighting in the UFC. Who knows what Dana will do, blah, 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 blah. And the point I was making was like, of course he goes straight to UFC because it's such an enormous draw, blah, 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 right? That was kind of the point that I was making. Then I saw the tweet that he did. And he said, kicking down the doors of the doubters, hashtag Bellator, hashtag PFL. And I was like, oh, shit. Hello? He's got a huge beef with Dana. Like, yeah. Okay, that changes everything. Because, yeah, he's going to fight in MMA. And if he's serious about that, okay, so let me ask you this. Why is losing Francis such a huge threat to the UFC if he's the champion? Okay? It's because, like, you can't, it's about pumping blood into their competitors. Now, obviously, PFL, Bellator are not real competition to the UFC. Not really. Okay? But the more money that those organizations make, the more they can offer other fighters. And all of a sudden, maybe they're not, like, taking fighters, but UFC has to start paying guys more in order to retain them. And so having them get a bunch more money is a huge long-term financial risk for the UFC. Everything has ripples, man. Everything has ripples. Now, the UFC is in an incredibly dominant position. That doesn't mean that nothing matters, you know? Like, the UFC has control of the market. Why do you think that is? It's because they've surgically picked off their competition all the way along. They bought their competition before they were the big guy. They bought Pride. They bought Elite FC. They bought Strikeforce. They just fucking buy them. And they consolidated the entire sport. And now you have Bellator. They're not really a threat to the UFC, and they just kind of let them hang out. And then, you know, they can't have that many fighters on the roster anyway, and it is what it is. But they are technically competition. So if Jake Paul really wants to stick it to Dana White, so there's two parts to this, you know, this thing, right? You got, is he really going to fight? Which I will basically guarantee you that he will. And then you've got, well, will he kiss and make up with Dana and fight for the UFC like you know he wants to? Or is he seriously like a vindictive, vengeful, you know, troll who would actually go through all of the training and learning how to fight mixed martial arts just so he can go fight for one of the UFC's competitors? And then really take the fighter pay to the thing to the next level. I mean, I don't even know what to say about this other than, like, the balls on this kid, man. Like, just bottom line, the balls on this guy. Dana White is the biggest boss there ever has been in the history of combat sports, ever. Like, imagine being in the future right now, okay? And then like looking back on this time period, right? And think about Dana White through that lens, dude. He's this enormous billionaire, self-made, built the UFC. By and large, his leadership, top to bottom, from the beginning, you know. And then now he rolls around in suits. He's fucking huge now, physically huge, in a good way. Like, you know, he's like huge. Like he looks like Boss Tweed. The way I imagine Boss Tweed, you guys know who Boss Tweed is? Fucking Google it. That's kind of my point. It's like the way I think about Boss. That's like Dana. He's got the fucking world by the balls, dude. He's the last enemy you want in the combat sports industry. I never understand why people like in like that are like analysts and shit go out of their way to fuck with Dana. I don't understand. What possible thing could you gain? What could you possibly gain from fucking with Dana if you're an analyst? What there's everything to lose, and well, maybe not everything, but certainly you have plenty to lose. There's nothing to gain, right? You got to know like who's a good friend to have and who's a bad enemy to have. But if you're a fighter, I mean, maybe I would have said, yeah, I don't think there's any upside in having Dana as an enemy. And this fucking ballsy ass little prick is kind of turning it into a thing that is valuable to him. Like, you know, Dana's a businessman though, dude. At the end of the day, you can dress up like Dana in a fucking Halloween costume and, oh, here's cocaine in a hooker. You could say he's on blow. You can say whatever the fuck you want. At the end of the day, if Dana thinks that you can be a strong asset for the company and you can make him money, he'll make up with you and he'll sign you. And you want to know why? Because not only because he wants to make money, but the second you sign with him, then he's your daddy. He's your fucking daddy. And so this is how I look at it. Like, if Dana plays nice with Jake Paul, regardless of the deal that he makes for him, and then he ends up signing him, just understand that Dana just daddied him, okay? You guys might think, oh, look at how Jake Paul talked his way into this big deal. Dana daddied him if he fucking signs with the UFC. So just keep that in mind as this thing goes forward. The second you sign with the UFC, Dana's got his gigantic hands right around your balls, and he can crush them if he wants to. That's why I have so much respect for him, man. I mean, obviously, if I haven't been making this clear in my last few videos, I see business as a combat sport. I mean, it's the same thing. It's fucking warfare, but it's even better than the octagon because it's like, it's chess. It's a fucking chess game. It's all a chess game. I used to say that all the time when I was running my company. It's like human chess. Constantly, you're like measuring what do you think they're really doing? How can I incite them into doing the thing that I want them to do and let them just you have to, the person, know what their tendencies are. How can you get them to walk into something that you can fucking snap on them? Anyway, I love this shit if you can't tell. But it'll be really interesting to see what Jake Paul does here. If he really goes and fights with PFL or Bellator, that would be fascinating. I wonder if Eagle FC is even on the playing field because I do not think that Ali and Khabib would do anything that would be a direct kind of fuck you at the UFC. But signing Jake Paul, I mean, Jesus. That's a pretty big moneymaker right there. It would completely depend on if they're independent or not. You know what? It would be hilarious if Dana's a silent partner at Eagle FC, and so he trapped Jake Paul into fucking signing with Eagle, and he was like, hey Jake, come sit on daddy's lap for a minute. Jake Paul's all, the fuck you talking about? He's like, come sit on daddy's lap, Jake Paul. How closely did you read your contract? Did you read it real close? Because now if you want to do it's fine. I mean, we're going to be fine. Just make sure you call and ask for permission. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can still do all the things that you want to do. I'm not going to hold you up. Just make sure you ask for permission first, though. Okay? Now, come here. Right here. Sit down right here, Jake Paul. That's a good boy. You're a big boy. You've been doing lots of training. Now go learn to kick. Go ahead. Go make daddy some money, little man. Anyway, that's what I got. Love you guys. Peace.